I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America.
Pour République li représenter.
Una nación bajo Dios.
One nation, under God.
One nation, under God.
Yon nation en bas bon Dieu.
Indivisible.
Indivisible.
Sans division.
Con libertad.
With liberty and justice for all.
Avec liberté et justice pour tout le monde.
Y justicia para todos.
With liberty and justice for all.
38 million people living in the United States are immigrants. That's 38 million that came from another country, and 38 million that carry a unique heritage outside of the American culture. The U.S. is seeing the highest number in foreign-born citizens today since the 1920s. The reason for their coming is simply to pursue a better life. Florida State University student Aldo de la Paz recalls not wanting to make the move from his native country of Cuba.
When I was in Cuba, I didn't really want to leave. And it was kind of like not my choice. My parents came here. I didn't understand why we were coming here. But I guess it was they told me it was for the best of the family, to seek for a better future, you know, better education and stuff like that.
Spain native and FSU student Carles Canamas says he came over just to live with his American family.
My mom wanted us to really get to know her family and where she was from and her country and her culture, I guess. So we just came with her.
Others didn't have much of a choice and find their way here after fleeing persecution. This is the case for Wael Al-Siro, a former refugee escaping Iraqi forces during the Persian Gulf War. Hundreds of thousands of Kuwaiti refugees fled to various countries, including the United States.
I had to, since they were looking for the American, I had to take my daughter because she's American considered, and I had to save her. You know, I left my parents, my brothers, my sister, and I went right away to the embassies.
3 different reasons for coming to America, but they all represent the 38 million immigrants of the United States, and they share one thing in common: assimilation to a new world. Culture shock is a part of some newcomers' life, but the feeling of being different was magnified through teasing and separation.
They call me boat people, boat, whatever.
You know, we eat cats and everything.
We were just kind of like put to the side. It was like all the American kids are here, and then there was a row of Esau kids.
Everyday aspects of American life, including basic signs and symbols, are confusing for foreign-born citizens. Some sociologists say it is easier to cope when immigrants arrive in groups and create ethnic societies. But when a person comes to the United States alone, they are forced to find other ways to adjust. Florida A&M University student Samara Ferraz is from Brazil, but when she's not in her books, she's at volleyball practice or spending time with her son. Samara says that adjusting to the United States was made a lot easier after she made friends.
I had some players that helped me out, my teammates, and in my junior college I had 2 Brazilian girls that were older than me. So they really helped me out, you know, they were calming down. They're like, oh, come on, you know, it's not all about that. You're gonna know that's okay, you know. You go to that drive-thrus and all that stuff. So they really helped me to set down.
Wael's first few days in the United States were not just hard, but tragic. The one and only friend he had was killed.
He was shot. That was the second day in my life. It was terrible for me because I don't know nobody. He's my close friend, the same language, the same, you know, and he was shot. Somebody got into the grocery store robbery. They shot him accidentally. I don't know what happened, but it was a terrible for me with my daughter that we don't know nobody there. I went to the only person that I love, I mean my friends, my close friends, and here is gone.
While immigrants manage to get through tough times, some battles remain even years after their arrival. Aurora Torres Henson runs the Palmer Monroe Recreation Center in Tallahassee, Florida. She says that even after spending most of her life in the United States, she is still dealing with the discrete stereotypes aimed at Asians.
They have this vision, you know, Bruce Lee, whatever.
Part of immigrants assimilating into American society is learning English. While parents that are U.S. natives don't have to worry about losing their language, immigrant families do face this challenge. Some foreign-born citizens are trying to not lose this battle.
We had a home, that's where I spoke Spanish, and then at school I spoke English, and I had to teach my little brother how to read in Spanish because there was nobody else to teach him, and my mom refused to do it, so I did it. because she wanted to teach him in English. I'm like, I'm not going to do that to my brother. He needs to know Spanish.
With that being said, some say parents can try harder.
My older sister, she came here when she was 8, and she had to get, she stayed back a grade because she didn't know English. So with her daughter, my niece, she doesn't want to teach her Spanish first. She wants her to teach English so she won't fall behind in school. And I get so upset because, but she's just like, well, you don't know how it was like getting like set back because you didn't know the language. She's like, I don't want to harm her in academics. And I'm like, you can do both. Like,
English is found to be preferred by second-generation immigrant children over their native language. A study on nearly 2,000 American-born children of immigrants revealed that almost all of them grew up speaking another language at home. Despite this fact, the majority admit to preferring English by the time they're adults. Foreign-born parents struggle to keep their children bilingual as they compete against factors ranging from pop culture to societal pressures.
I think language is the biggest chunk of keeping them in tune with where they're from.
Like the differences between reggaeton and where reggaeton came from.
Panama! Everybody knows that!
Studies agree that Hispanics are among the cultural groups that face losing their language. In 2007, a Kiplinger business article revealed that of the grandchildren of today's Hispanic, only 15% will speak Spanish fluently.
Now, the younger generation, most of their parents went to college and were raised in this country, so they learned English. So now they talk to their parents only in English. So they don't practice their language and they don't practice their culture versus older people. We had to learn to speak Spanish or else you weren't going to communicate with your family.
With nearly all second-generation immigrants speaking English, it is almost impossible for immigrants to keep their native language as the dominant language.